Everyone's got the Shem Yichud of Arbit? Okay, so if you go one page before the Shem Yichud of Arbit, you see it says Kavanot Mea Berachot. So if we would learn everything, Pakka from the beginning, we would do the Kavanot of Mea Berachot. Because we're going with the idea that the world was created at night, so there's the first thing you do when you start the day is you have to mechaven on all the brachot that you're going to do that day, because we have to do Mea Brachot. So there's a special Kavanah of Mea Brachot. So that's why it's there. I'm just showing you what's in the Siddur. And it's this interesting Kavanah. It's not difficult. It's called Sagum Lo'o. If you know what Shem Sag is, so there's a Kavanah which is Sag, and then the Milui of Sag. So Sagum Lo'o, that's basically the Kavanah. We turn the page to the Shem Yichud. Before we start the Shem Yichud, if you look at the top of the page, found it? Arvit? Oh, you got Shachrit, Ali, so take this one. Jonathan, you might have to close the door because they're going to be closing down.
It's in the Arvit of Shabbat one?
Arvit of Shabbat, it might not be there. It might not be in Arvit Shabbat.
There's a regular Shem.
It might not be there. It should be there. Shem Yichud, okay, the Shem Yichud, go for that. The top of the Shem Yichud, top of the page, it might not be in the Shabbat ones. But it says, Yichaven etaken lekudshah baruch hu mateh shelomo. You got mateh shelomo? Mateh Shlomo, Be'echal Kodesh Kodashim de Bria, Al Yidei Yaakov Avinu Alav Shalom. Okay, so now there's 4 different things. When Elisha went to the Shunammite, it says that she would every year he'd go from there to her, and she would prepare for him mitah, shulchan, menorah. He said, and so the mitah was one of the things. So each one of the tefillot that we do, in Shachrit you've got 2 things, but you've got shulchan and the menorah. But through the day we have to metaken all these 4 things. It means every person in the world, when they leave this world, even when it says about Reb Chia and Banav, they're buried standing up because they're waiting for Mashiach to come. But it says in every kever of every, like a cave of every tzaddik, you've got these 4 things. We have to metaken in this world these 4 things. That's the most important. If you do Chok Yisrael a few weeks ago, I talked about that what's under the bed of a Talmid Chacham. So it says nothing. It's his shoes for the next 6 months. He either wears sandalim or he wears na'alaim. If it's summer or winter. But anything else, no, he won't find anything else. But it says Amaretz is gal shel, says something like a mound of you say in Arabic kilakil, like all rubbish nonsense. Like the whole world is under his bed. so you don't need more than these 4 things in the world. So anyway, Arvit goes with mitah. Okay, you sleep at night, so mitah. Right? Kiseh shulchan around mitah. Now there's a problem. You need to tell me what the problem over here in this line is, right? Starting off, it says you have to mechaven, like the Shem, the Kudshah Baruch Hu Shechinteh, which means Tiferet Malchut of Atzilut. If we would learn the Hagdamot, if you've ever got any time in Od Yosef Chai, the Ben Ish Chai, he talks about what is the Malchut, what is the Shechina, what is Rachel Imenu, and who do we pray to. It says that tefillah, it says clearly in the Zohar, is to the Za Venuk, the Zun of Atzilut. It doesn't mean pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's creations. It means when we ma'aleh the birurim, since our parents of our neshamot, not of our biological parents, we have parents which are from our neshamot. They are the zachar and the nekeva, the partsuk which is called zer and pin and nukba, nukdiza. That's the tiferet u'malchut of Atzilut. It's another name for them. And those sfirot, from there there's a zivug, especially on Friday night, chal tapochin kadishin. And there's molid neshamot of Klal Yisrael, of tzaddikim, right? If you're sitting here, no gava or anything, you're probably one of those neshamot, okay? So those neshamot that come in the world, they come from the zivug, right, which takes place usually on Leil Shabbat, of Zavinuk. So our parents are Zavinuk. So we can only ever reach them, we can only be ma'aleh the birurim to what's above us. And what's above us? The olamot. And we can reach the Magayad, we can get to one particular aspect of the Olamot, which is called Zachar B'Nekiva of Atzilut. Above them is Abba Ve'ima. So their birurim, to fix them, comes from what's above them, which is Abba Ve'ima. And above them is Arich V'Nuk. Above them is Atik V'Nuk. Now that you eventually get to Ruma Ma'alot, to the highest places. But when we pray, we can only ever reach, for example, the Piyut, Shomea Tefillah. It means that it says that when we ma'aleh the tefillah, we wake up the Ozen Ha'elyon, which is a Shomei Tefillah, And then our tefillot can go higher than what we can reach. We can take them up to Zav and Nuk, and then from there, in order for them to go higher up, we can't do it. We have to be gorem, that the Ozen Elyon will listen to the tefillot, because we do it with all our kavanah, and then it can be ma'aleh the tefillot even higher than what we can reach. That's why it means all of our tefillah and all of our mitzvot is only to reach Za and Nuk, Zun, the Atzilut. Okay? The Hakdama. So when it says Kudsha Baruch Hu Shechinteh, because Kudsha Baruch Hu is Za and Shechinteh is Nuk. That's we're always constantly preoccupied and what's the word for it? Obsessed about Za and Nuk. Kudsha Baruch Hu Shechinteh. Tiferet U'Malchut B'Atzilut. That's where we can reach. Okay, so that's very good. Mateh Shlomo, okay, which means I what is it for me? I made a mistake. Sorry, this is Mateh Shlomo. This is something else. This is the staff of Shlomo. It's still good what I said to know before. And then it goes on to say Behechal Kodesh Kodashim Debriya. Now, if you remember, we learned last week, right? This is the problem. Who can tell me why? We're still in Bria. Last week we explained that in Arvit, when we start Arvit, when we start the Bracha Baruch Atah Hashem, we are still in Hechal Ahava de Bria. Might even still here. Hechal Ahava de Bria. We're only over there. And now we're saying that we're focused on we're being metaken something which is Kodesh Kodashim, which is a higher Hechal. It's the Hechal of Ketel Chochmah and Binah. So how can it be? How is it possible that we can, before even beginning Arvit, we're talking about being in a place that we haven't even got to, even from before Arvit starts? Doesn't make sense. It's a problem. Anyone see the problem? So we need an answer to the problem. Just find Arvit over here. Arvit.
Sorry, do you mind saying that again? What's the problem? When we are.
Who can tell him what the problem is? Who can tell him? Who can explain now what the problem is? Huh?
You have to go 2 stages up.
We are.
We're 2 stages under.
We've got
below.
we've got more than that. There's an even bigger problem. We're in an olam which is higher than the olam we're supposed to be in. Forget even the fact that it's the wrong hechal. It's the wrong hechal. It's also the wrong olam. I don't know why he didn't put it in here. So I'm just trying to find. I don't know how he misunderstood it. His own barrel, he's got his own. Should have been over here. But I think it's for the moment, right? So you see the problem, everyone? You see what the problem is? The problem is that before we start Arbit, we're talking about Hechal Kodesh Bria. No, say it's about Olam. We're talking about Kodesh Kodashim Bria, which is over here. And when we carry on after Kaddish, which is supposed to be when you take it up, then we're only going to reach to the level which is below it. So how does that work? Kaddish takes up, it doesn't bring down, right? So that's the problem. Okay, it's the right Olam, but it's the wrong Echad. Okay. So the reason why I'm focused on this is to begin to open up a new idea, a new concept we spoke about a little bit last week. That in order for us to understand which biurim we're fixing, so we have to also remember what is going on from the time of Shachrit. So let's spend a moment to talk about that. We explained last week, it might still be on the board, that we don't need this now. We'll start again. It was there, but I would rather do it again. We explained that you've got Olam Atzilut, right? In Olam Atzilut, there was a Shvirah of the Melachim. That means there were 7 Melachim, all above the other, right? And all of them, the lower 7 fell down, and the top 3 remained in Atzilut. And that's called Shvirat HaKilim, okay? When they fell down, the Kelim fell into 3 different places. 1, 2, and 3. They fell to Olam Habriya, Olam Yetzirah, and Olam Asiyah. And that's what these Olamot, it's called Olamei Bia. Bia is Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. So for now we call it Bia. Or with the Atzilut, it's called Abiyah. So, who fell to Olam Bria? Kelim, Pnimim. Pnimim. Here fell Kelim, Emtzaim. And here fell the Kelim, Chitzonim. Okay, so in Arvit, Bichlalut, we're fixing these ones here. In Mincha we'll be fixing the ones which are over here, and in Shachrit we'll be fixing the ones which are over here. So this, all of Arvit should be over here. Yeah? So the board is not access to Arvit. Basically from the Kelim, the from Atzilut, when we take them back up, every day we make a tikkun, so we've got 3 tefillot. Okay? Now, the ones of Shachrit, let's explain what happens with these ones. Because to get to understand Arbit, we have to understand what happens. This is a very important one. These are the ones of Shachrit. So I'm going to sit underneath so you all can see better. These ones, there's a system that works. Now, it's complicated, but this system is you have to remember, in all the generations they've been learning the system, and this is how it works. We'll fix it that way. There's something, it's called a 3, even 4 day cycle. Okay? So on the first day, you have these biurim, called the rafach. We call them rafach, right? Rafach, nitzotzot. 288 rafach. So every day there's a portion we're going to take out. Some of them are going to go to this mishpacha, right? Some of them are going to go to this mishpacha at mincha time. And some of them are going to go to this mishpacha, which is Arbit, which is what we're B'ezrat Hashem learning, right? And they all come from the same place. So today we're going to get a bit more intense with these halachot, and understand that we're going to deal with the ones as Shachrit. So I start Shachrit on my first day, and I've got these new biurim, which are called biurim chadashim, which have to go to fix these, called the kelim of Bria. Okay? But in order to fix that, now forget that they belong to Bria. Apart from that, we've got now a system that we have to work with, which is the olamot. We have to go through the olamot. So, in the end, they're all going to end up in Atzilut. Okay? Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. So when these biurim go up, let's do them from here. Forget, in general, when you finish the whole story, it will be as if the ones from Bria ended up in Atzilut. They went back to Atzilut. But it's not as simple as that, because there's the Bria which is in Atzilut, and then there's Bria which is underneath it. You know, in other words, Atzilut, when it fell down within Atzilut, there was 3 different places in Atzilut. So all of this is called Atzilut. And then from here it went to what's called Bria Tachtona. And these are in the Klipot. This is where the Bria, where we're fixing the world. This is our world, is over here. This Atzilut, we have to send this back to Bria de Atzilut. Asiyah. So it's very more complicated. Don't focus on that for now. Just wanted to point out why. Because you'll get confused with this Bria and what we're going to talk about now. Now we're talking about something new completely. As if we didn't, imagine we didn't say anything. Starting from the beginning. We're taking the portion. Tomorrow's Monday for Monday. Okay? So Monday, Shachri, first day, the biurim have to come in. We say, Ketoret and Ketoret Hasamim, right? In the Talmud Ketoret, and all of them go into their places, in all the Hechalot. All the ones of today, now in their place, and they're divided into 3 different worlds. Right? So you've got Korbanot, and then Mirot, and Yotzer, of Shema. Right? So we need to take them up into all these places so that they can make the way to get to Atzilut. Okay? So as they're going up, eventually they're going to get, let's remember this place over here, Hechal de Bria de Ahava. So in Bria there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Hechalot. Right? Number 6 is called Hechal Ahava. The Bria. So these biurim of the new day are going to go all the way up to there, to number 6. Right? So what's going to happen? We're going to get to Ezem Kuman and we're going to go through all these Hechalot. We're going to say Kaddish and go into Zmirot. All the Hallelujahs, each one is a different Kumanah. And then you get to another Kaddish, Yotzer Or, and then we go all the way till you get to Ahavat Olam. In Ahavat Olam, we're going to have Shema Yisrael, so it's very important. Shema Yisrael. So, that all happens on day one. When you get to Shema, something changes. We stop the Birim over there in Shachrit. They stop over there. Okay? Now, what I'm telling you now is the way we're learning according to Rabbi Shaul. There are other ways to learn, but I'm not going to complicate it and keep it simple. This is what we do, so this is why Rabbi Shaul like a coin. They stop over there. Now imagine yesterday there was a different set of Birurim that came in already. And they also came up to Shema, but they came up to Shema yesterday. So they're waiting over there from yesterday. We stop there and we switch over to the ones of yesterday. What's the difference? At the end of Arvit, at the end of Aleinu V'Shabeach, when we fix up, they come back down. Because there's this system of the ones of today going back down to bring up the ones of tomorrow, and it carries on forever and ever till Mashiach comes. Every day we've got the ones of yesterday, but we fix them up to a certain extent, and then they have to go back down to bring up the ones of tomorrow. Yeah, you know the idea that it says there was no one to pray to bring the rains onto the ground. So that Rashi says because there was no one Adam had been created to pray for rain to come down, so there was no rain on the earth. So you need something to be going something, the whole cycle that you start the chain reaction, the chicken and the egg cycle to get going. Right? So the first Biurim, it says Kad Salik Alma, it says in the Zohar, it says when the Ratzon of Hashem was to build the world, it says he was Ma'aleh the Biurim the first time himself. And then the ones he was Ma'aleh went back down to bring other ones, and they keep on and on day after day after day.
What's the concept of going down to get up? What happens when they go down?
Who's going to bring the next ones? You need to
No, but they go down, and what happens when they get them?
It's a long way to explain. It's a long way to explain. There's a lot involved. It's not just then. There's ones with the third day as well, and then there's our neshamot, which is Ma'aleh. You know, to explain it, there's this concept of man. It says in the writings of the Arvit, when a person, so to speak, we don't do this in Nefilat Apayim because it's dangerous. But it says the greatest Kavanot you can ever do is Nefilat Apayim. That's why people they leave it out. Talked about it last week a bit. It's dangerous, even the Gemara says so. When a person, so to speak, dies, or they accept a Ki'ilu met, al Kiddush Hashem, or even without Kiddush Hashem, it depends where we Ma'aleh the Biurim to. There's two concepts of to be Mosed Nafsho. One is al Mitah Stam, and one is al Kiddush Hashem. So when a person does al Mitah Stam, it's like he's saying, he gave up his neshama, and he's gorem that through his neshama going into the yesod of nuk, right? That creates something called mayim nukbin. I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying, but basically there's something called female waters. When a person arouses, so to speak, right, the neshama to see what's going on in the world, so that's how it works in the physiology in that works in our world as well. And that the concept of a tzaddik being ma'aleh the birurim is the concept of who takes it up. But we can't just take it up ourselves. We need the koch of the birurim of yesterday and the ones of the day before that as well. So it's all hinted to in the writings of the Rizal and the Rashash and Hashanah. So I'm telling you all the answers after all the working out. So in other words, these birurim yesterday went up and they went to Hechal Ahava de Bria, right? And then they waited over there. The time didn't come yet. Now let's give a little example. Let's say a person's got a business to do. I think we mentioned this mashallah once before. And he has to go to Italy. And he goes to Italy to meet his compatriot, whatever, his associate. Now he's Jewish. He's got to find a minyan. He's got to find kosher food. He's got to find he's going to pray. Yeah. So doing all of that, he's Ma'aleh Biurim. So understand, HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings us to the place where our neshama needs to be in order to be Ma'aleh the Biurim, which is from Adam HaRishon, that is shayach to us. So we have to be in that place. Like you might come to Leeds and find a chaplain over there and find a Shabbat with him 30 years ago, right? At the start, and that's why you're sitting here today, right? So that's how this works. So that if we notice the Shekhinah and do the mitzvah in that particular place, then we're Ma'aleh the Nitzotzot. And every day there's Nitzotzot to be Ma'aleh. And all the mitzvot that we have to do. Some of them are every single day mitzvot like talit. Some are tefillin, which is every day except Shabbos and Yom Tov, right? This rabbi in Birmingham. His son was walking down Golders Green Road, and his name's Viking. He's got all these body piercings and I don't know what, big boots. And Lord says to him, "Did you wear tefillin? Do you want to wear tefillin?" He says it's okay. He says, "Do you wear tefillin?" He says, "Do you wear tefillin every day?" He says, "No, I wear them every day, Shabbos and Yom Tov." Okay, so in Echal Arbit Bria, you've got the ones of yesterday. So when we take today's ones up, which is in the first day of the Tikkun, the first day of the Tikkun is called Ibul. There's Ibul, Yenika, and Gadlut. Ibul means the embryonic stage, like a fetus, not yet born. And then after you give birth, after the Ibul, is the Yenika. That's the 2 years where mother nurses, like it says in the Gemara, 24 months. And then from 2 till 9 in 1 day is the first part of the Gadlut, and then from 9 until 13 in 1 day is the next part of the Gadlut. These are the stages of how it grows. So now Olamot is the same thing. So the first whole day is called the Ibul. So we take them up through all the Hechalot. Now when we take them through the Hechalot, each Hechal they go inside, there's a Tikkun. As a Mekuman, imetaken them, as a Mituk. You have to have Mituk after Mituk until they get ready to they become like Mintakim, they become taking away the dinim, right? To the degree that they can, that they're able to go into the olamot. Is mitukim that take when you do kavanot. You know when you do kavanot, there's one kavanah is you have to take all the food and turn them into little olives, like grains of flour, like you turn it back to the base material. So one of them, the mitukim is done. It's done, but the commander Rebbe, he writes how he learned from the Baal Shem Tov to take onions, which are dinim, and to chop them up finely with the fish, which is from arich. And that's how you get they get herring with onion. That's where it comes from. The Rebbe used to do it. He describes how to do. He did these special yichudim, which he tells you what the yichud is, right? Which is in Sharuch HaKodesh. And every Erev Shabbat he would do it, and then give it to the Hasidim, and that's where chopped herring, the herring with onions come. Chopping is probably the same idea. Just chop it, because you're chopping it, you might take it. Understand? Today you go to shop and you buy herring and onion. You know where it came from, right? That's where it came from. Okay. Yehudim, they did Yehudim, it's unbelievable, right? If you go to, like I was once with the Biala Leinster, but my son was very close to like a member, I was Shabbat with him. Every single thing he ate had a remez and a siman, what it represented, the gematria, aubergine, and chatzilim, and every single word. He wouldn't eat it unless it's got a tikkun in it. He's telling me this is tikkun, this that tikkun, this that tikkun, they go through different olamot. So, coming back to what we're saying. So we are now, let's say tomorrow. Tomorrow we took up the red ones, yeah? And when we get to where Shema Yisrael is going to be, the purple ones are there from yesterday, right? And they've already been through 24 hours. So they've moved from Ibul to Yenika. Lo and behold, you start the 2 words of Shema Yisrael. We'll see that it says in the Siddur that they are the tikkun of the Yenika. That's how we know they're yesterday's ones. Understand? And by the time we get to Echad, on the same day, of day number 2, they will reach the Gadlut as well. And they go through Shemona Esrei to be what's called Parzufim Shlemim. And then after Shabbat, they'll come back down. Now, all of this was because I wanted to explain that these. So we'll do Echad, we'll do Shema. So these purple ones, right? They will go from Shema, from Echad, until the end of Shemona Esrei, and they'll end up in Atzilut, and they'll be completely fixed, right? When we finish Shema Yisrael, and we say Hashem Elokeichem Emet, we carry on going up the Hechalot for these ones. So these ones also catch up, right? So you get to Atzilut, till you get to Gal Yisrael, Shemona Esrei. Then these ones and these ones will come back down again for tomorrow. They will be in their third day, they'll be in the second day, and then there'll be a new Parzuf that has to be fixed for the next day. So we'll have to get used to it, but this is like every day, there's new ones coming in, the other ones in the middle, and the other ones which are finishing off. Okay? Now when they come back down after Alinu Shabeach, right, this is Meforash in the Kavanot, the Shah Kavanot of it's called the Chilukei Tefilot, the Arbit Tefilot, right? That in Mincha, these ones of Shachrit go up again to Atzilut. When we do the ones of Mincha, the Kelim, we call the Kelim Emsaim, the Kelim Pnimim also go back up with them, and they again come back down after Alinu Shabeach. Then Arvit again they go up. Which means in any one tefillah, we're working in 2 places. Even though the main tefillah is the host, In other words, Shachrit is the Pnimiyim, and Mincha will be the Emtsaim, and Arbit will be the Chitzoniyim. Right? As well as that, in Mincha and Arbit you also have the Kelim Pnim, which came back down and have to go back up again. Because that's the Ikar Tikkun Shachrit, that's why it's so much longer. Okay? So where you see over here that it says that there's something already in Hechal, Kodesh Kodashim of Bria, that's talking about, according to the Mefarshim, the Kelim Pnimim of Shachrit that came back down and going back up again.
But all this also the same with Mincha as well.
Yeah, same thing.
There's both of them.
Yeah. And in this, there's different opinions. Some say the Kaddish is for one and Baruch is for the other. There's a discrepancy of opinions of how it works. In fact, the Tzedek V'Shalom, Rabbi Eliyahu Mish'an, is of the opinion that the whole of Arvit actually is only in the Kelim Pnimiyim, not in the Kelim Chitzonim like we're seeing until now. It's a whole different shita. And therefore, ask.
No, where is it? Sorry, I didn't hear.
The Rabbi Eliyahu Mish'an is one of the.
Yeah.
He was like the Rebbe of the Rabbi Shaul from Chal. He says that the whole of Arvit is not here; it's over there.
Oh.
This happens in Arvit, but what you're seeing most of the time in the Tefillah, when you go to Hashem B'Bor Marav Aravim, that's all Kelim Chitzonim. Rabbi Shaul has proofs to learn otherwise, and so when we're learning like Rabbi Shaul, I'm going to say that a million times. Rabbi Shaul's system is in Arvit is very simple. We said a bit last week, right? That you're working Kelim Chitzonim except over here and in one other place, which is Hashkiveinu. Because in Hashkiveinu, we get to there, we'll see there's a zivug which is in Bria. That zivug in Bria will be the Kelim Pnimiyim, which is over here in Echal Kodesh Kodeshim in Bria. That means here it's in Echal Kodesh Bria, and it stays there till you get to Hashkiveinu, and that's how you deal with Shachrit coming back again. The rest of the time, it's all Arvit, it's all Kelim Chitzonim. Okay? Question.
One question, just in terms of the Hechalot. I understand how it works in Shachrit, but Mincha and Arbit, where's the sequence where the Hechalot come in?
So we explained last week, the names of the Hechalot are the same, but they're different motorways to go up to Shemayim.
Yeah.
The one that is used in Arvit and on Mincha and Shachrit are different ways to go up. So they have their own Hechalot, but and the names are given according to parts of film. One's called Nog, one's called Zah, one's called Abba Ve'ima. They've got different names. But it just means the different highways to go up to Shemayim. Okay?
The two sets of birim, the red and the purple, do they have different titles, different names we can refer to?
They do. The Ibur will always be the one which is the new one, and the Yenikah will always be the next one. Okay? And the third one is called the Partzuf for Tmol Shilshon. Tmol Shilshon means the day before yesterday. That's always going to be in its third day. Yeah? So.
When does it become Gadol? Doesn't become Gadol then?
It becomes a Gadol, the second day it will become Gadol. From Echad of Shema onwards, there's Gadlut.
I thought it was Yenikah the second day.
It is the first two words of Shema. Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael is Yenikah, and then Echad is Gadlut. Beginning of the Gadlut, which carries all the way to the end of Shema Yisrael. And that Gadlut is complicated. It's got so many things to do. Every word of Shema Yisrael is another part. You get to Sim Shalom till you finish the job. Okay, so we're in the general picture. Believe me, we get the general picture. Everything will fit in slowly slots in. But there's so much. Eventually, please God, we'll get there. If not, I hope people won't give up. But I'm saying, whatever we can do, we have to take what we can. We toughest what we can. So this was to show us that there's also the system of Shachrit going on simultaneously with Arvit. Okay, but we're focusing now on the biurim of the Kelim Chitzoniyim. Okay, so if we now go back into the Siddur, and we see there's a Kaddish. So we explained yesterday, last week, although the different Shittot about when the biurim of the Kelim Chitzoniyim, now we're talking about Arvit. Yeah, that's when I say Kelim Chitzon, you know what I'm talking about? That Mishpacha of Arvit, not the ones of Shachrit. Yeah, that come back. So those ones now, we haven't said where they are. Where are they? Okay, as far as we know, they're still down here. They're still in the Klipot. They haven't gone up yet. They haven't come into the Echalot yet. Understand? So now, if we would be doing Shachrit, the system would be very clearly. You have to first go through the Korbanot, and then there's Mirot, and then the Yotzeror, and Arvit, we don't have all of that. Right? So if we jump to the words Asher bidvarom arim, keep your finger on this place because we're going to come back to it, to Kaddish, right? Asher b'Romar Arvit. What does it say over there? On the top of the page. Livnat Sapir, Yisodu Malchut. Yisodu Malchut are together. It's a chalva that they join together. Yisodu Malchut to join together. So now it says which Yisodu Malchut? The Nuk Dezah de Bria. Nuk Dezah is an area of the highway of Arvit. Every tefillah has its own highway. The highway of Arvit is called Nuk Dezah. Okay. Okay. So why? What does it mean Yisodu Malchut de Bria? That means we're at the bottom of Olam HaBriah. So how do we get to Olam HaBriah? What happened to Asiyah? What happened to Yetzirah? How did we jump up so quickly to this place? Yeah, that's the shayla that we need to ask ourselves. How did we get there? Yes. Thank you. How did we get there? The answer is they have a magic elevator called Kaddish. You've got Kaddish, right? So if we go back to the beginning, Kaddish, Gadar bin Kadash. And we see these kavanot. It's a complicated system. Every kaddish has got more or less the same kavanot, right? The kaddish is more or less the same formula, but there's a kaddish which is for going from olam asiyah to olam yetzirah, which is called sag ma. The shemot are in all of them. Someone is noten and someone is mekabel. So the noten is sag and the mekabel is ma. Means from Abba Tima, we have to see how it works. Yeah, who's not giving? We learn Kaddish one day, we'll be able to understand that. But we know that there's codes over here that we can decipher the codes, right? If we're familiar with it. If we're going from Olam Ha Asiyah to Olam HaYetzirah, meaning going from here to there, there'll always be the same Kaddish to take us up. It's called Sagma. When you look at the ones of Abba, the name in Kaddish is there's mochin of Abba and the ones of Ima. The ones of Abba will always be Shem Sag. All the Miluim will be Shem Sag. And all the ones of Ima will be Ma. So if you see that in the Kaddish, you know where you are. Okay? Whereas if we're going from Olam, Yetzirah to Olam HaBriah, they'll have a different name. Right? It'll be Ab Sag. And if it's from Briah to Atzilut, it'll be Ab. That means all the names of Havesh. So for example, let's look over here. If you go to the word, let's see where we are. If you look at the word,
we're going from Asiyah to Bria.
Look at the word Almaya. Le'alau Almaya. Just before Yud Barach, right? So as you see the letters, it says Yod Vav Daled Hey Yod, right? And then Vav Aleph Vav Hey Yod. This is Shem is Sag. This is the name of Sag. And we're dealing over here, it says the Patsuf Bina Dizah. It says above the Nanachid and the Neshama the Imam. Can you see it?
Which word is it?
Al-Maya.
Yeah.
Al-Maya. Can you see Al-Maya? There's a kavanah like this. It's the milui of Sag. If you notice the Yud Vav Daled, it's got Yudin. But the Vav Aleph Vav has got Aleph in it. Because that's Shem Sag. If you want to see it more clearly, go to the next page. V'it Halal is even more clear. In fact, it's better for us. Because on the right side of V'it Halal, you've got the Mochin, which is to do with Abba. And the one on the left, you see everything, it says De'ima. Can you see that? See the Abba? Everything on this side, it says on each one of the Kavanot, it says the Abba, the Abba, the Abba. The other, De'ima, De'ima. What's the difference in the Shemot? They're identical, except the ones of Abba is Yud Ke Vav Ke, which is Shem Ab with all Yudin. And to the left of it, you'll see Yud Ke Vav Ke, but in the Vav there's an Aleph, because it's Sag. So this Kaddish is Ab Sag. What does Ab Sag mean? Ab Sag means you're going from Bria to Atzilut. No, from Yetzirah to Bria. From Yetzirah to Bria.
But we're going from Asiyah to Bria.
No. So Asiyah is not here. I asked you a question. We haven't even started. We should be even below Asiyah. We haven't even come in yet. We don't even when it came in, right? So now let's get some answers. We had lots and lots of questions. Let's give some answers, okay? The answers that we're following is like this. In Shachrit, when you said the word Ketoret Hasamim, right? In Ketoret, the word Ketoret there's 11 times the name Elokim, right? So Gematria, Ketoret. Those are the Yud Aleph Samane Ketoret. And in those birurim are all the rafach that we need for the whole day. Okay, so you're asking what about mincha? Mincha is not the big, it's machlok. We generally say mincha is only mituk dinim. It's not really kavanot of bringing the birurim through the ketoret. The main ketoret is meforash in the rashash is all in shachrit. So when you said the korban of shachrit, you're also bringing in from the tum'ah of the klipot into the kedusha, right? Yeah, you're bringing in all the birurim that you need for that day. The shachrit, mincha, and arvit. So they all came in. But they're still waiting to go up. They're inside the echalot, but they can't go anywhere. They're stuck. Right? Shachrit will carry on working on the shachrit. When we get to mincha, ashrei, we're in ishbon esrei. We don't need to take them up. There's no even shema. They're going straight. They're already in atzilut. So, right? Kaddish, you're in atzilut already. And if you see over there, the kaddish over there will be ab. Because you go from bria to atzilut. Shemon Esrei already. Like it will be over here as well after Gal Yisrael. After Shkivenu, I mean. So in other words, they came in already. That's the answer. They came in already to the Kedusha, but they haven't yet gone up. So now, Mincha is not a problem. It's a double because we say we're going straight to Atzilut. Okay. What about Arvit? We get to the first place, and the first place after the Kaddish, we're already in Echalava de Bria, which means that we don't have to do it. They went up themselves. I mean, before we started this Kaddish, we are already at the bottom of Yetzirah going into Bria. That's what it means. Why is it so? Because it's the time of Arbit, it's night time, it's too dangerous for us to go to the lower part, so Hashem does it, Merachem Aleinu does it for us on our behalf. All kinds of answers there. The answer is not as important. At this point, what's important is to understand how it works. That when we're starting the Kaddish of Arvit, and we said V'urachum, we're going into Bria. From Yetzirah into Bria. Okay? And that's why the Kaddish is a Kaddish of Absag. Had it been Sag Ma, then we'd be going from Asiyah to Yetzirah, but it's not. So in other words, we're over here, going into Bria at this point. So we jump 2 olamot. All the birurim have jumped 2 olamot. And that's when we start the Kaddish. Clear? So we should either write it down or make a note or something, because next time we're going to carry on from this point and move forward.
Sorry, in Kodesh Koshim to Bria, that applies to the ones from yesterday.
In Arbit, we're not talking about yesterday. Only
So when we say that we're starting...
In Arbit, we're only talking about today's
There are
ones.
2 things we just said.
I'm not saying you're wrong, because we need to get to that, but let's not complicate it. The ones that we're dealing with right now, the new ones that have just come in, right? You can argue they were already here yesterday, which they are, but I don't want to go into that right now. Yeah, very good. Okay, so but the ones that we're dealing with right now, we're bringing them in, we're taking them up, right? The new ones that never come in the world before, right? We'll meet other ones when we get to Shema, but right now these are the new ones. Okay, they're coming in. They're at Olam, the bottom of Olam Habriya before Yetzirah, meaning underneath Olam Habriya, and now we're doing Kaddish to take them up. This is the way that we're learning. There are others who learn that this Kaddish is for the ones of Shachri, or they learn the Kaddish. There's actually Rav Ferrer learns that this Kaddish, Rav Quinka learns that this Kaddish doesn't take anything up. All the other Kaddishes, but this one doesn't take anything up, and it's Baruch Hu that takes it up. So, but he learns anyway. These are not the Kelim. I don't tell you what he learns because he only got a completely different derech he's got. Rav Vidal Quinka was one of the Rosh Yeshivas of Bet El. It's very important for Chaim. And he lived for a very old age, so he has a shita which is slightly different.
But everyone agrees we're in Bria.
Everyone agrees to that for sure. So we're learning now that whatever Kaddish does, as well as what it's for, it's taking up the birurim, right, that we need to work with today in Arvit, that we'll do in B'ezrat Hashem soon. And where is it taking it from? Olam Yetzirah to Olam Bria. Which makes perfect sense then, because Baruch Hu, we said Baruch Hu, maybe Baruch Hu takes them up. So we're learning that Baruch Hu doesn't take things up. Kaddish takes them up. Baruch Hu takes them up. But we're not going to learn that. We're going to learn that Baruch Hu Either Baruch Hu is dealing with the Shachrit ones, which I don't want to complicate it, right? Or Baruch Hu doesn't take up. But Baruch Hu is always between Yetzirah and Bria. Where's Baruch Hu in Yotzerot? Between Yetzirah and Bria, right? So Baruch Hu is always there. Even after Alem Shabbat, we're still then going into Olam HaBria, which it's the other way around. It's a chidush. Even that has to be explained. But the point is, it's always to do with Olam HaBria. We're going from Atzilut to Bria or Yetzirah to Bria. Baruch Hu is always in that place. That's where its job is. It does something. There's a certain mituk which it does. That's where it belongs. So that comes out very nice because that's where we are in Olam HaBria. Where are we? In which part of Olam HaBria? We're just going into it now. We just entered it. So then we turn the page and we start Matbea Breacha. Explained last week. There's a formula for all the brachot that we do, which we're not going to do now because it's complicated. But there's a lumdus over there, depending what this bracha is. Some learn it's a Bekat mitzvah. Now, if it's Bekat mitzvah, it's got nothing to do with tefillah. If we're doing a mitzvah of tefillah, it's nothing to do with the birim of the tefillah we're talking about here, of this whole system here, which is called the tikkun HaKlali of the olamot, which were the korbanot before. Yeah? It's to do with another type of tikkun, which is called Taryag mitzvot, not tefillah. And one of the Taryag mitzvot is to pray, Lo Avdo B'chol Levavchem. Says the Gemara in Tani, Ezo Avodah Hashem B'lev, it's tefillah. Lo Avdo B'chol Levavchem means you have to daven every day. Rambam says, Mitzvah D'oraisa is to pray every day. But that's a different mitzvah. Every mitzvah that you do has birurim that you have to fix, aside from the one which is the tikkun haklali of tefillot, which is keneged korbanot tiknua, right? Tiknum, which means that these kelim that we're talking about, the shachrim and Arvit, that's a separate tikkun. You understand? They're both tefillah, but one is just a mitzvah of tefillah. You do it 1 second, make a bracha on your mitzvah, and you did Birkat Hamazon. Every mitzvah, Taryag mitzvah. There's Taryag different places in the olamot, and each tefillah together fixes all of them. That's a different partzuf for mitzvah. This is the partzuf of tefillah. So tefillah is working in 2 places. It's got its mitzvah prati, right? It's called mitzvah pratiyot, in the Lashon of Chazal. And then there's a mitzvah of the tikkun HaKlali, which happens to be through tefillah, or the korbanot. Yes, we have to get that in our mind also very clear. So now when we say this bracha, some say actually that the bracha Baruch Atah Hashem Melech Haolam got nothing to do with the tikkun of the tefillah, of the tefillah service. It's to do with the mitzvah of Shema. You're going to do the mitzvah of Shema, so you have to make a bracha on your Shema. So it's to do with the mitzvah, nothing to do with the tikkun of the tefillah. It's to do with the mitzvah of Shema. Shema, to say Shema is not part of tefillah, you understand? But Chachamim fixed it, tefillah with Shemona Esrei. Shema is supposed to say Shema, Shachrit Arbit. Yeah, it's not. It's a declaration. It's not. You're not praying for anything. Technically, we add in things. We put them in. By the way, but the actual takana of saying Shema from the Torah to fix that we have to do the mitzvah is to declare Baruch Hu's one. It's not please give me this and please give me that and fix the world and the Mashiach and before and it's different. Not part of tefillah. Just we do it at the same time because of the Seder Olamot. Okay, so we come now to Asher B'Dvaro Aravim. And what are we doing now? We've already gone into the hechal, the bottom hechal, which is Yesod Malchut. Okay? Can you see what's going on? Everyone can see what's going on?
Which page?
Asher B'Dvaro Aravim. So you see on the top the hechal there? In the box it says Limnat Sapir. Okay, we're going to come to that in a second. I just want to tell you one thing. If you go through the words of the bracha, you see there's all these commentaries, all this Yetzirah, Tzilu, all these different names of these places, Sheva, Koch, Velechet. All that comes from the Mishnah Hasidim. Emmanuel Chayriki, who was a rabbi from Italy, and he had a Beit Midrash in the old city, which Or HaChaim got in the end, and he was in Tzfat, and he took the writings of the Arizal from his wife. And he stayed there for 2 years, and he learnt them all, and he became a major authority. And most of the Hasidic nusachs of the Sidurim, which they have, the Ari, is all based on that. Okay, we don't always follow the Mishnah Hasidim, but we often do. But we don't always follow it. Sometimes we is a makor. So the Rashash took from Mishnah Hasidim over here. What's interesting is that these words that you're reading, right, are not part of the kavanah of what we're doing. these are pirush on what these words which Chazal chose in this bracha are referring to. But it doesn't mean that's what's happening now. We're not going to Olam Hatzilut and Olam Bria, you understand? They're not kavanot. They're pirushim, al-pi Kabbalah, of what these words are referring to in the creation. Let's get one thing straight. When we say, Chachamim say that there's pardes, Kavanot Arbit Pardes Rash Sod, right? It's the same psukim that we have, that you read in the Chumash, can be interpreted in different ways. The pshat means, that's what it means in halakha, right? Ki kach ish isha. A man takes a woman, right? So we learn from there, kiddushin kesef, we learn from there, okay? And then you can make gzer shabbat, stay front, kicha, sedeh kacha, kana avram. That's all pshat. That's you using Yud Gimel Midot of the Torah of Rabbi Ishmael to darshan out the psukim and the pshat to understand how to do the Torah, how to keep the halachot. Okay? Then you've got remazim in the Torah. A remez it means that that's not really what the Torah was talking about, but it's meramez to something that's also true from the Torah. Right? Sometimes the word Gemara remez actually means from the Torah, like remez ledim zobim miminayin or remez the yichud. Yeah, it brings a pasuk. The pasuk is clearly not really saying that, saying something else, but it's also true, and the Torah wants to be megale over there. That's one way of understanding it. Or it's actually what the Torah is talking about, but it's not a direct meforash explanation, so it's called a remez. But it's also deraisa, right? Remez in Yichud is derabanan. The remez, the Eidim Zomim, if you learn the Makot, is deraisa. Doesn't mean derabanan, means the remez is really the pshat there, right? Then you got a drash. Drash means that Chachamim, or sometimes the Torah itself, took a word in the pasuk, and it doesn't mean what it's saying, but it sounds like something else. So you use it to interpret something. It's completely not what the pshat is, but it sounds like something else, and it's true. So drash is true, right? All kinds of words that you use to mean other things that sound like it, but that's not not the pshat that the Torah is talking about, right? And then you got sod. Sod means you take the psukim, and each word of the pasuk is telling you that it refers to a part of creation, part of the olamot. So we use the same words in the psukim, which sometimes the word Hashem doesn't mean Hashem. It means it's merames to something in the creation. It's one of the sfirot, right, in the pasuk. Could be tiferet, could be anything, right? Understand? So using the psukim in a way which, from halakha leMoshe Sinai, from Har Sinai, that was what the pasuk meant. Not pshat, somebody came along and invented some pshat. That is the original pshat that was given over to Moshe Rabbeinu, because Moshe Rabbeinu received the Torah, pshat, remesh, drasot, Sinai. All of them, they're all true. But it doesn't have to be the pshat. When you learn pshat, you're learning halachot. You have to use the rules of the Torah. You have to know Kavachomer, Gzer Shava, right? The Klal Ufrat Flal, all these things that we said. That you have to darshan them out according to the rules of the Torah. That's pshat. That's how you learn halachot. But you can learn from Kabbalah can learn from a pasuk something which is originally put there as a system to understand and decipher that pasuk according to what is in the olamot. Okay, so here too you could read the pshat in this word. You go to how many different pirushim you'll have. Rashim Shafar Hirsch and Rab Dessler, and I don't know on the Siddur you got Avodat Israel and Arvit. You got all different. Rav Amram Gaon, Rav Sadia Gaon, or Rambam. They're all different ways to explain what these words are. Maybe Rashi will disagree with Ibn Ezra, right? It doesn't matter. That's all different pshatim and what it means. The more you learn, the more you know Torah, the more get it. But there's also a pshat which is called the sod pshat, if you like, right? It's what these words are referring to according to Kabbalah and the olamot. That's what these are. So we don't need to do that right now. We don't need to go to what the pshat and how you work out that word means that. Bechokhmah is atzilut, and betfuna is bria, and itim is yetzirah, and zmanim is asiyah. Understand? These are all to do with other sugyot in Kabbalah, in the Zohar, in the Kifari, that's meramas too. And it's good to know, but that's not our essay right now. Right now, we want to know what's going on with these birurim. Right? We have to pray Arbit in a few minutes to know what's going to happen to them. So let's quickly explain what's going on. Because it's night time, and because there's dinim in the world, so we're only allowed to go in certain hechalot. So we quickly just write down what the hechalot are. So Yisod Malchut, right? This is called Livnata Sapir. So this is one Hechal. Right? And then there's another Hechal. And then that one's going to be Hod. Right? So that's called Etzem HaShamayim, if I'm not mistaken. Right? And then there'll be Netzach. Right? I'm just going to put the names because it'll be easier to remember. Netzach, and then there'll be Tiferet, and then Gura, and then Chesed, and then this is Kachbad, Ketech Chochmah Bin Adat, which is called Kodesh and Kodashim. Right? So now when we get to Shema, we're gonna go over there, the Chesed. Right? But if you look in the Siddur, you'll see the next one we're going to go to is Tiferet, and we did Yesod Malchut over there. So we're only really dealing with 3 of them. Okay? Sometimes Tiferet is above. It's over.
This is all within Bria.
This is all within Bria. Okay? So if you look at the Siddur now, this first one is Livnata, the next one is Avat Chesed. You go to Chesed, so there's no Tiferet. I don't know why I thought there was Tiferet. Like that. Okay? So we're going. There is actually Tiferet, but it's not here because in Olam HaBriah, Tiferet is above Chesed. So it's a different system. That's right. So here you've got Gura. It's got a different rule. It's not for now. Okay, but let's put Tiferet over there for whatever argument's sake. So after Shema, we'll go to Tiferet. So the rule, it says in Shar Kavanot, because it's nighttime, we can't deal with anything which is a kav smali. You know, you've got 3 kavim. You've got Chabad Chag at night, right? Chabad is Chochmah Bin Adat, Keter Babit, right? And you got Chagat, Chesed Gura Tiferet, and the Netzach Chod Yisod. So the right side is Chachad, Chochmah, Chesed, Netzach. The left side is Baga, right? Bina, Gura, Hod. Bina, Gura, Hod, the left side is all Dinim. So we can't do that on Arbit. So we jump through it, done for us. So the first Hechal we went to was Livnat Sapir, so the Malchut, Baruch Atah Hashem, Hamarim, Avim, right? And then we start Havat Olam. Havat Olam. The word Hava means Echal Hava, the Bria. So we jump, all the Birim go straight up to them. Okay? So now we know we are in Echal Hava. That's where all the fun and games take place.
Sorry, where's Ava?
It's Chesed.
Chesed. It's that one. Okay? Now, if we take this sheet where we did a little bit last week, you can either look in the Siddur or you can look at both. See how we've expanded what's going on in the Kavanah of Shema. Okay? So on this sheet of paper, I'm sorry the black ink has got some problems. I've got to go and see what the problem with it is. Look at the numbers in the yellow boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So similar to last week, according to Batili Gani, it has to be in this particular order. Number 1 are the Birurim, Rafach. So you've got the names of the Birurim, Ab. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, how they go from underneath, they go up, down, up. Okay? Now, I'm not going to go so much into the Birurim now because we do Birurim twice, once over here and once in Milat Echad. And there's 2 ways to learn it. But let's, just for argument's sake, say nothing's going up. Over here, what we're doing is we're putting a ring around the biurim that we need to work with at the moment, right? But these biurim, they waited thousands of years. They're waiting to be fixed. We come into Arvit, right? We say L'Shem Yichud. We say we're dealing with Kilim Chitzonim of Arvit. We have to bring them in, right? We start when the Chazan starts the Kaddish. We have to say we've already got to Olam Yetzirah, now we're going into Olam HaBriah. And then we started the first Baruch Hashem B'Aro, we went into Yesod Malchut, and now we've got to Echal Hava, the Briah. All of that we've done. So these are the Birim that we're looking at. When we mevarer them, meaning we segregate them, we separate them from all the rest of the Birim which haven't been fixed today. These ones are the ones we're dealing with. Right? We allocate them. Okay, so that's the Kavanah of number 1. And we've written there in the heading, Birurim de Bia de Atzilut, de Etmol, the Shefa Chitzon de Achol. Forget all of that, it's not for today. Okay? and that's what, anyway, that's written for Shachrit. Okay? So that's what these Birurim are. Now, when we say the word Shema Israel, this first page, you see this first page, we're dealing only with the Shin Mem. Look at the bottom of the page in the Siddur, or in this page, it's got Shem at the bottom. See that Shem? That Shem is the Shem of Shema. If you turn the page, you'll see there's 3 ayins on the left. That's the rest of the Kavanah. Right? Nefesh Ruach Neshama, each one is a different Kavanah of the ayins. We're not doing that now. Okay, that's a different Kavanah, has a different purpose. Here, what we're doing is bringing in these Birurim, bringing them all in. When we bring them in, where do we bring them to? We bring them into the Malchut. So now, yesterday, now we understand a little bit more what we're talking about. Yesterday, the same thing happened. And then those ones carried on into Shemona Esrei. And we build them all up from being Birurim into proper parts of Fim. What does that mean? The Birurim themselves are only the Malchut which came out at the time of creation. Then they fell down because of the Mikra Melachim in the Shivat HaKilim. And when we're bringing them back up now, there's only one Malchut. That Malchut needs another 9 parts to make it into a full Partzuf. And that's only the female side called Ben. There's also the male side which is called Ma. So we have to bring in Shema 19 new parts that corresponds to that one part that we brought up. Okay? So we bring out one part and we have to fix another 19 parts. 9 to make up the Ben, and then another 10 for the Ma. And it comes to the zivug, which is called the Ayin and the Metzach, and the forehead and the eyes in Olam Ak is a zivug that takes place, and then they come up, the new ones come out. So that's what we're aiming to do. That will be Milat Echad. Now, we're saying we're bringing them in. So now, the ones of yesterday, they went through all of that. And we built all the parts of Fim, of Atzilut, Zanuk, everything. The Nefrat HaPayim was even a Holadah. There were all kinds of things that went on yesterday, right? And they became complete. They're called Partsufim Shleimim. They then go down, Lisayah, to the new ones that are coming up today. They're like a lift. We have the Koach of Tzadikim, to be able to be Ma'aleh the Birurim to the Nuk. Like we're going back to the Rechem where we came from Nuk. And then that lift, there's like pressing the button and it takes it up. The ones of yesterday. And when it takes them up, these are the new ones. So what happens is the Malchut of yesterday, is waiting for the Birurim. That's called Rachel. That's one of the and which Rachel? Rachel means the Malchut. That's the Rachel that went into the Kippur during Tikkun Chatzot, and in which when the sun comes out, she comes above a bit more. When we write Tefillin also, the Shiliyad is where Rachel is, right? And there's a layer behind the Shil Rosh, and that Rachel now is Nechal Avad Bria, and she's waiting for these Birurim. So we take those Birurim and we put them into the Malchut. She can now take them up to Atzilut in Baruch Atah Hashem Shemona Esrei. Not now. So now we're taking the Birurim, and it's like a magnet. It's got the same name, it's called Ben, and she's called Ben, and they bring them together because they originally came from the Bens of Ben means Melachim that died, that fell down in the time of the Mikra Melachim. So Bin Bemino, they join together. Now when the Malchut, the Shekhinah, Rachel, call it what you want, when she is in Hechal Avad Bria over here, right? Oh, here, where it was over here, we said, yeah. When she's over there, she's called Ben. She's Ben. There's Absag Ma Ben. Ben is Malchut. Okay? When the Birurim go inside her, which is the Kavanah, we have to be Ma'aleh. That's what we're doing. We're taking them in, that's what we're doing. That's our Kavanah. Put them together. Connect them. When you connect them together, so the Rafach, which is 288, and the Ben, which is the Malchut, together, Gematria Hashem. So now she's called Shem because she's got inside of her the Birurim as well as our Neshama as well. Also go inside with it. All inside her. Right? And this is what this Kavanah is. So we're looking at number 1 is the Rafach, because you've got those names which are faint, right? You've got Ab, and then 2 Sag. You've got Sag, which is 63 plus 10 letters, which is 73. Then you've got 26 for Yud Ke Vav Ke plus Ma, which is 45, which is 71. And then Yud Ke Yaakov Havaya is also 72. So it gets exactly adds up to Rafach. Kimat Sachakol Rafach. Rafach plus the bed. So look what it says here. Lechaber elu Rafach. And I've written over here in brackets. Achoraim shenaflu biyad atzilut yom sheni olim me'echal hava echal kodesh kodeshim hava debriya. Forget that's complicated, but it's all within echal hava debriya. That was going on, and you connected them in panim de malchut, right? Which those ones didn't fall. They're waiting for them. The achoraim fell, but the panim is they should bring the achoraim to the panim, bring them together. She's called Shem Ben, which is the Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? Add them together, you get Shem. That's the Kavanot of Shem. Okay? Now, in order to do this, there's zivugim that you have to then do number 3 and number 4, which you have to talk about another time. But whenever you do it with the zivugim, the zivug primi and the zivug chitzon, or zivug elyon and zivug tachton. The zivug elyon is called neshikim. It says it's very inspiring. I was a bachur and I was in my grandfather's house in Eretz Israel. And I was going through this Farim and I started opening this Kavanot. It's talking about Nishikim, it's talking about Zivugim, and I was freaked out. Completely freaked out. I said, what? Is this what holy people do? Every time they think of the Nishik, they have to do Kavanot. Like, I don't understand the Olamot. I don't know what it's talking about. It says in Etz Chaim that every Zivug, there's 3 types of Zivug. There's Nishikim, Chibuk, and Yesodot. Right? And in each zivug there's a nishikin before and nishikin after, because there's 12 nishikin involved in every complete cycle, right? To make a proper zivug. It's not stam these are all very, very lofty things, right? So here too there's what's called rucha berucha, which is the zivug elyon, and there's a gufa begufa, which is the tachton, and these are zivugim which take place. We'll explain another time, B'ezrat Hashem. There's a little chart we made on the left of the thing she taught. But we understand that there's a zivug that's taking place over here now. There's a special zivug that's taking place over here. I'll explain what it's for. But this that we've got on this one page is the Kavanah of Shin Mem of Shema. We've understood, well, we can go and do it now. Right? Taking the Biurim through the Olamot, to Olam, till you get to Echalav Debriya. And the Malchut is waiting there. She's waiting. She's crying. Rachel mevakal baneh. She's waiting for the Biurim to come up. We take them up. We join them together. Such a simcha. She's united with the children after Holocaust. Find them alive. You understand? These are the concepts. Very deep concepts. And then she wants to take them into Atzilut and build up all the Pasufim, which will be Shemona Esrei.
Yeah, 2 questions. What happens in Shacharit? There's no Ben.
Why?
Ben was there, we said from before.
Yeah, it's the same. There's a Ben there as well. There's also Malchut that's waiting from yesterday, from the ones of that family of the Kelim Rimim.
No, from the beginning of the week.
Which
If we
beginning
start
of the
with
week?
what is the beginning of
This is every day the same thing. What we're talking about now is every day the same thing, even Shabbat. It's the same thing every day. It's true that every day is different, but that's not a problem right now.
It's a 2-day cycle.
It's a 4-day cycle actually, but at least 3 days, let's say. Okay? Okay?
But I thought you said Shema is not part of the tefillah, it's just to be, it's a decoration, it's not necessary.
As in Pshat, in the Kabbalah, everything in the tefillah has to be not missed out one bit. If everything was fixed, particularly because if you miss one bit out, that Kavanah is going to skip. You have to jump up and miss it. So yeah, so in the as I was saying, the Tikkun HaTefillah of the Seder HaTikkunim, Shema is very important. Shema, Shemona Esrei, it's all part of the same order. But when you break it down into the mitzvot that you're doing in Pshat, then they've got the disconnect. Well, I can say Shema now, I'll say Shema later. What difference? With tefillin, without tefillin, why do I have to, right? So all that is out the window. When you're talking about the Kabbalah, everything has to be with tefillin, with talit. Everything is built up in a certain order, for a reason. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.